All right, so we are here in the field now, and after interpreting that very good lab report, our point there is then having understood fertilizer selection, our next point is how to apply our Basal fertilizers. In the program, informed by the soil analysis and the yields we are chasing, we recommended a 300 kgs per hectare on the Basal, and then we have structured in some top dresses that are speaking to nitrogen mainly, they are speaking into sulfur, they are speaking into some potassium. We will be updating you on what product and the application practices, but for now, Mr. Malembeka, if you can help me, or maybe let me demonstrate to you, because I'm here to advise.
Sure.
So here is how we do it. I always have a problem with our labor that come to work with a hoe and the drip tape on the bed. This is a result. They keep on nipping into it and we keep on having cuts. So whenever you are making your fertilizer furrow, you move away the drip tape and it goes in that deep. You've got to go in 10 centimeters. Okay, so the next step, Mr. Malembeka, Mrs. Mwamba, is application. So there is many ways that you apply fertilizers. If you're applying fertilizers to enrich the soil, what the ideal practice is broadcasting, because you want the nutrition to be everywhere. And it's very good for adventitious plants with adventitious roots that spread, because they'll be utilizing some of it, though most of it will be utilized on the main root. But basically, whenever we have beds like this, and because we are smallholder at the moment, we cannot be doing feed to soil. Yeah. We just want to feed the plant so that we quickly get the profitability from it. And that in this case, we promote band placement. Okay. And for the band placement, is how I demonstrated that you dig about 10 centimeters depth. So you dig a depth of about 10 centimeters because fertilizers must be placed before the seed and deeper than where the seed will sit to avoid the scorching and the burning. Okay. And then the next question is, what's the amount of fertilizer? For this product, we've recommended that you go in at 300 kgs per hectare, of course based on what we want to extract and based on the soil report, keeping a balance of the two things. Okay. And so how do we determine what to apply per meter of row? These are 70 meters. This portion here is a 36 by 70, which is just a little in excess of a 50 by 50. It is 2,560 square meters. So we reduce then our fertilizer requirements from 300 to 75 kg. Okay. And that 75 kg is further divided by the 30 rows we have. It reduces further and further, and then to what we will need per meter, and then that per meter we will need about 2.5 kgs for a whole row, for a whole row. Now per meter, from a 70 meter row per meter, then we need just about 36 grams. So 36 grams. We don't have a scale here. What do we do? I have learned that most of the Basal compounds, a bottle top, water bottle, Coca-Cola bottle, they are usually same size. This one is a bit narrower than a Coke bottle, but a lot higher than a Coke bottle. When you fill it to just a little slightly over level like that, you have 5 grams. You have 5 grams of compound. So I could use this to just count 7 of these to have my 35 grams, which I can apply over a meter. So that's 1. Thank you for the help. 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, which is 25, 6, 30, 7, 35. So I'll just put a little sprinkle there to take it to 36. Have you seen? It's 1 handful, and I just have to then inform all the people I'm working with today and say that is what will be going in a meter row. They have that information at the back of their mind. The rest is how to distribute it. I'll go lean, I'll check. I think I've been fair, not as good as a tractor. So I'll go where there's a little bit and check it's even. I'll go back and just now finally sprinkle. I think that is very much representative of what we are trying to achieve. So we have the right application per meter of row. The next time I may not need to measure. I will go back in the sack and come and show that that level was that. And I'll go to my next meter and I will spread exactly like that. The next time I will dip and I'll go to my next meter. There is a whole lot of ways that farmers have developed to manage such applications. So many of these bags that remain lying around, you can get the whole of this bag, tear it here and make a little bit of a sack that you hang here, and your fertilizer will be seated from there to there. Then your worker responsible will be dipping a handful and going per meter and they have calibrated their hand and are applying properly. Once we have applied like that, it's critical because of the nitrogen component that quickly runs away with increased heat units. It's critical that we cover. We cover the fertilizer for 2 important reasons: to keep the nitrogen contained in the soil, because the direct heat from the sunlight is heating it up and may cause the nitrogen to escape and go into the atmosphere. But when we bury it, we keep it safe and waiting to come and just feed our plant. The next reason is we bury to separate the fertilizer and the seed from touching, because that seed and fertilizer contact does burn the seed and may impede the seed's germination, and you will have little or less populations than what we are targeting at the end of the day. So to avoid all those issues, this is best practice, and what we are now remaining to do, Mr. Malembeka, is to just come and put the seed on top here and put a light cover, a thickness of about 3 centimeters on top. Then we are perfect. Then I assure you, the certified seed, you would not have killed it, you would have planted it, and all of it will come out. Sure. So this is what we are doing today. I don't know if there is any further questions that needs clarity.
I think from what you've shown us so far, we can already see where we had the gaps and where we made the mistakes. Because to be honest, I mean, you're not even bothering to use a hoe for the seed, and I mean for even just for this. But most of the times, what we were doing previously, because now we're not going to do that, is to use a hoe and dip in, put the fertilizer. Most of the time, there is that fertilizer and seed contact. Sure. So you find that the seed hasn't germinated, and most time we'll be like, okay, the seed is bad. Sure. So obviously now this is obviously going to help us a lot, and I hope that everyone else that's watching will be able to take this as a as a takeaway for today.
That's true. So this segment we've done today, land prep and planting, they are together called crop establishment, and they make about 50% of the success of what you are targeting. Okay. So usually smallholder farmers that fail to do this properly, there is no correction that will reclaim your 50% loss. Yeah. If this was bad, you should expect to only be at best 50%. No wonder we find the large-scale farmers are getting 10 tons. The best of the smallholder farmers are getting 5 tons. And then the national average is coming to 2 tons. Because there's so many others that are way below 2 actually. So if this is gotten right, farmers out there, we would have been 50%, we would have done half the journey complete. But please join us in the next segment, because we are talking about planting and planting practices, and take us to the full 50%. We move on to recommending what things to do for our